Well, we begin this evening with an update on the deadly I-55 crash near Manchac. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Katie Moore. The southbound lanes of I-55 are now back open, but the right lane near that crash site still closed. A team from the Department of Transportation spent the day inspecting the fire damage on the northbound elevated span. And Paul Murphy reports on recommendations to make this stretch of highway safer, particularly in foggy conditions.
Crews spent the past few days clearing charred wreckage and debris from Monday's 168 vehicle pileup on I-55 near Manchac. A series of accidents in foggy conditions left as many as 8 people dead and 63 injured. Thursday, vehicles returned to the southbound lanes, which were not as damaged as the northbound span. Karen Pfeiffer at Middendorf's just off the highway says she understands safety first, but is happy some of her customers can now use I-55 to get to her restaurant.
And they're not sure if we're even open, so we're getting a lot of calls, I say a zillion, to see if we're open, to see if it's accessible to get to this location.
Meanwhile, a team of inspectors continued the process of checking out the structural integrity of northbound I-55.
And there was considerable damage from the fire, so we've got to make sure the structure can support traffic, or we've got to make repairs in order to get it back open to traffic.
Questions remain as to why the roadway remained open when super foggy conditions presented an extreme hazard on the highway. State Transportation Secretary Eric Calavoda said typically the state will only close roads when they are flooded or iced over.
With fog and rain and heavy rain, we need people to slow down and drive at a more reasonable rate of speed and not tailgate one another. This is the event that happened on I-55 was probably a result of that, people driving too fast.
Local residents hope there will be lessons learned and additional safety measures taken in the wake of the deadly accident.
Well, if you're going to close the causeway, you close I-55 too, because the conditions are going to be the same, if not worse, over here.
And you have to slow down, absolutely, you have to slow down. So that's important. Signage would be great, the digital signs and stuff to remind people. I also heard that a lot of people didn't have lights on.
There's still no timetable as to when the northbound lanes of I-55 will reopen. According to DOTD, that decision will be made once inspectors determine the full extent of the damage to the elevated roadway. In Manchac, Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
And Kaladova says the department will be studying the conclusions of the accident investigation to help prevent this type of tragedy in the future.
Today, the St. John Parish coroner released the names of 7 victims who died in that horrific crash on Monday. As many as 8 people died with more than 150 cars involved. Most of the victims were local, and the youngest was just 6 years old. According to the coroner, remains of a possible 8th victim have been sent to LSU for identification. This is the list that we have right now. 87-year-old James Fleming of Missouri, 49-year-old Fernando Francisco de Moraes of Chalmette, 37-year-old Jose Elias Valle from Chalmette, 21-year-old Corinne Hebert from Plaquemine, 47-year-old Kutub Singh Negi. He is from Hammond, and we told you earlier this week he's a chef in Kenner and a father of 2. 49-year-old Nakia Gaines of New Orleans, and his son Mason Gaines was a 6-year-old from Madisonville. And we do have some links to some of the GoFundMe accounts for them on our website, WWLTV.com.